DeFi Kingdoms, where you can summon heroes, trade with other players, quest, and fight challenging enemies in a fantasy world brought to life in pixel art animation. Command your legion, claim your legacy.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's AMA with DeFi Kingdoms. As always, we are excited to be here. I'm excited to be back as I'm not able to be here last week. I do want to take a moment and just say thank you, Winston, as always, for stepping in to host for me. Really appreciated you taking that on. I did hear a rumor that Beetle Dude somehow got out of his dungeon. I am investigating this. I've ensured that he is back. He is back in his dungeon. I've added extra padlocks. I've added extra chains around his ankles, but I'm still looking into how he managed to get out in the first place. So breaking news, you'll be kept up to date on that investigation. But how are you doing today, Winston?
I'm good. I'm worried about Beetle Dude. I hope he gets away with all that. I didn't think he'd get in so much trouble for, just escaping. But that's where we are now. He escaped. Maybe you'll get him back, maybe you won't. But I think additional measures to reduce his time of freedom is probably smart. You should probably do that. I like where you're going with it. I'm good. Yeah, I think you did ask, so I'm not saying it sarcastically. Thanks for asking.
I did ask. Yes. I remembered.
Nice. I'm good. Did a little trip up to Eugene, Oregon last weekend to adopt a dog. His name is, that's the wrong button. His name is Terry. What's going on here? There we go. Okay. His name is Terry, and he is an English bulldog, and he's kind of huge. So here he is in my yard. Right now he's not, we've been calling him Open Carry Terry because one of his teeth are always sticking out, but it's not sticking out in this picture. So I kind of blew it. Oh boy, what did I do? No, nothing. Okay, we're good. What did I do here?
That is a big boy. He's super pretty though.
Dude, he's huge.
That's a big dog.
Yeah, he is 45 pounds of fury. So, but he's super sweet. He's putting up with my other dog. I have Elaine, little French bulldog, and she thinks she's pretty hot shit. We've been calling her the short queen, just because we found out that the queen size bed in an RV is a short queen or a trailer queen, and trailer queen seemed like a rude thing to call your dog. So she's been the short queen ever since we learned about that. Pretty exciting day today. I'm fighting Kurt Hokage. He is always formidable. Still lots of time to vote on those, I think. There's still like 10 minutes. Oh, wait a minute. 10 minutes and 25 minutes. So make sure you get in and vote on those. You don't want to miss out on that. Also, some sponsor rewards. The Eggs Caliber thing will start next week, but I'll be counting any sponsors this week towards it. So as long as you sponsor this week, you'll be in the mix for that next week. And yeah, I think that's going to be pretty much it for me. What's going on here? Is my name backwards up there? That's not.
No, it's right for us.
Is it right? It looks backwards for me. I don't know. Maybe it's, I
think it mirrors your own screen, yeah. But for the rest of us, it looks right.
That's bullshit. No, it's not. Okay, yeah. When I look at it on the view over here, I can see it's the right direction. Well, that's great. I'm gonna fire it back over to you, Bolan. I think that's pretty much what I got. Don't forget to vote and sponsor. And thanks. Yeah, I'll pop that up on the screen as we approach it.
Nice. Thank you, Winston. Looking forward to it. Dreamer, how are you doing today, sir?
Oh man, I have so many questions. I have questions about this kinky dungeon that I didn't know about that Beetle's in, apparently. I didn't know that. And it's interesting that you know about it and you're adding restraints to him. I want to learn more, but we can't talk about it here probably. I'm also curious why Winston is just dropping all these Sublime references. I think the only time I've heard Eugene, Oregon is in that one Sublime song. And if you're a fan of Sublime, you know what I'm talking about. He also ended it with what I've got. So that's all I have today. I am being observational and interesting topics going around.
Man, Dreamer's on a roll right now. Great to see you as always, and looking forward to hearing from you in this AMA. Last but not least, Hubert, how are you doing today? And if you want to roll into some of your updates, feel free.
And I got so many updates.
You do have a lot of updates this week.
Yeah, I'm doing okay. I'm coming down with a cold. My son caught it somewhere, and now I have it, and he still has it. So it's just been great, and I got tons of sleep yesterday, with extreme sarcasm on that. So yeah, I might be a bit loopy today. So enjoy, I guess. Let's see. So updates. So we have several things. If you haven't been aware, we've been kind of mentioning that there's a new class coming. If you didn't know, I'm sorry for you, because we've been talking about it for a while, but Pirate is going to be launching today. We have been doing a lot of balance changes on it, a lot of just testing and everything. And just, we had to lock Beetle back up in that dungeon to make sure he could get as many of the things that were still kind of pending done. And it kept the midnight oil burning for him last night with just a few last minute things. But those are all in testing at the moment, and I don't think they were not major enough things to like delay anything for us. So yeah, we will be launching Pirate tonight. And I don't know if I was supposed to pause for something on that before I go into other things, but
why not? Right. I will caveat first. This says now. It does not mean now. You're getting a sneak peek. Congratulations. You know what? Actually, it says today. I'm counting it.
Hold on, why aren't you speaking in pirate? I thought that we were gonna get like a big, hard, thick, like full on pirate. Can we have the full on pirate?
As a Floridian, it's a dangerous territory.
Let the Viking thing go and just be pirate bull on. Can we just be pirate bull on for like a day?
Arr! I do love that trailer though, because Winston showed off some of the animations, but he hid some of the really cool ones, and that trailer dropped some of the really cool ones. But Hubert, back over to you.
Yeah, the art team really flexed on the Curse of the Sea animation, which was the Kraken one. And yeah, it's a really fun one to use. It's a little bit, with a lot of things with Pirate, there's dice rolls involved, so it's a little bit less of a predictable class. But that unpredictability can also lend itself to some interesting combos if you get lucky. So like the Curse of the Sea, for example, it when it's used, it has a delay effect that can be anywhere between I think like 5 and 30 ticks. And if it ends up being kind of on the slow side, that allows you to kind of line up other things to kind of coincide at the same time as it. And that can be pretty devastating if it's done just right. So, and it's just a really cool skill in general. But yeah, we've been doing a lot with getting Pirate ready. It's been a lot of work, and not quite as difficult as getting Wizard ready was, but still there's quite a bit there. So yeah, and kind of along with Pirate, we have kind of updated the tournament schedule a little bit for just that release. So you might have seen in there that we have this tomorrow. Those ones are going to require that you have Pirate to play in those tournaments, the daily skirmishes, and then one of the Revengers, I think the one on Saturday, also has a Pirate requirement on it. And then did we add one more? I think those just those two for now. But
Yeah,
maybe there was
the 2 skirmishes for tomorrow and the Revengers on Saturday should be correct.
okay. And then yeah, so we do have Pirate, like must bring Pirate ones in the rotation now. And also with that, we did make a change to just the general tournament requirements that we're going to do as a kind of a more standard thing, which is to require all unique classes on pretty much all of them. There will be some skirmishes that don't have that requirement on them, but we did make that change. So you may have noticed that as well if you looked at this next week worth of tournaments. They are all unique class ones, except for I think the open practice ones. I think are don't have any restrictions.
Yeah.
So there is that, and then also with Pirate, you can't just release a class without rebalancing everything else at the same time. So there are loads of balance changes on basically every class, and also on the heal trait, the healing potion or health vials, and let's see, also a few of the other potions as well had some adjustments as well. We're going to be bringing down the weights of a few of the lesser used potions, and yeah, the healing potions are kind of changing to be not strictly just percentage HP based, but there is still kind of a component of that. The formula actually is kind of complicated, and you know, it was kind of a pain to say this is what we're going to do, but I think it is kind of more healthy with the way things have changed since we have introduced level re-rolling and the amount of HP that now exists out there.
Hubert, can you talk more? I know you just said it was kind of hard to maybe not explain, but hard to describe. But can you talk a little bit more about how it's different, right? It used to just be 35% of your HP or whatever, right?
Yes. So yeah, it was 35% of HP of your max HP would be healed, and that was how it worked before. Now it has a 20% of your max HP is still, so there is like a max HP component there, but the rest is a level based healing. So it like the level of the hero that is receiving the vial, there's a multiplier on their level, and then there's also just like a scalar value in there too. So it has you know three different components in the equation. So it's not the prettiest, but math wise, I think it's a lot nicer or a lot more balanced, I'd say, for this new landscape. And both the health file and the heal trait will use that same formula. However, you can get a little bit more out of the heal trait if you have like healing potency increases, which that applies there. It does not apply on potions though.
As far as like effectiveness goes, any expectations there?
Yeah. So when we release our patch notes, there's a like kind of a plot that we have that kind of show the difference. In general, the way what that's going to do is like really high HP heroes are going to get less healing out of them. The ones that are kind of close to the upper middle are going to be like basically unchanged to how much healing that they get. And then heroes that are on the lower end of the HP scale are actually going to end up getting more healing out of it than they did before. So it might sound like a nerf, but it's actually a nerf and a buff. Just it depends on what's being targeted. It's a nerf for high HP heroes. It's a buff for low HP heroes, basically.
Nice.
So yeah, and other things too. Like there's so many different things that we adjusted. So I can't really list them all, but there's some adjustments to how some of the keywords work, some status effects. and yeah, I don't know. You'll see. It'll be a nice long list. I hope you guys, I don't want to see a lot of when reads in Discord. I want people to be talking about all the details and reading them, and be great, because that's always what happens, right? But yep. So there's that, and then another tournament related.
Real quick before you move on, sorry, apologies. Question from chat: did mana vials change?
No, and I don't think I would change it that way, because mana is a little bit more tricky with the way it's set up. Like, if we were to change it in that way, it would make it so they would be extremely powerful on melee classes that have low MP, and then just make them worse on classes that have high MP. And we already balance MP costs around kind of the expected growth of MP for that class anyway. So I don't think it's the same problem as what Health Files had.
Cool. Thank you. Sorry to interrupt.
No worries. So yeah, let's see. So yeah, a couple other things with some of the recent updates with the banked shot clock. So we also, for this next batch of tournaments, we've reduced the banked time down to 2 minutes from the 3 minutes that we did for this week. And we also updated the way the sudden death works at the very end when the tomatoes come. Basically, how it happens is you lose all of your bank time if you haven't used it up by the time the tomatoes start. So every turn is a maximum of 10 seconds during tomato time. So there won't be anyone allowed to just hold their turn. If they could take a bunch of fast turns until they get there, and use that to their advantage anymore. So it'll be a little bit more balanced in that way. So there is that, and then let's see what else. Oh, and then yeah, one other thing that's a different topic regarding patrols. We are going to be introducing a gas rebate system into it, where if you complete a full set of 3 patrols, you'll get essentially like an estimated 100% of your gas back, but it's based on a kind of a basic run where there's not a whole bunch of rewards. So if you do get a bunch of rewards, you will end up paying a little bit of gas for like those being minted. But in general, it will be if you do a full set of patrols and win, you will get basically all your gas back for doing them. So that will be another thing that we'll be adding, and it'll kind of come along with the release of Pirate as well today. So you can look forward to that. I know there's been a lot of complaints about the gas costs of patrols, so this rebate system is something that we will be putting kind of metis into it, and it can run out. So if they're it's not something that is just like guaranteed forever type of thing. It's something that we will kind of choose if it something that we want to keep funding or not. But for the time being, I don't think we have any plans for it to be like a very short-term thing. But just kind of want to caveat that it's not like a for sure permanent forever type of thing either. So but yeah, let's see. So I think that's all of it. I think I got it all. Did I miss anything?
I really want to say yes, but I couldn't think of anything to mess with you about. I think you covered everything. Yeah. Nice. Well done, sir. Well done. Yeah. So a lot of really cool updates. A lot of stuff coming later today. Make sure to keep an eye out for all of the patch notes. Obviously, all the balance changes will be covered in the patch notes. Please read them. Outside of that, we'll also talk about the patrols gas refund and all that stuff as well. So just keep an eye out for the patch notes. But there is a lot of stuff coming at you today that I'm just really excited for. I think it's going to be really nice. With that, we will roll into some questions. given that I just made Hubert talk for like, I don't know, 10 minutes straight, maybe 15 even, we're going to give him a momentary break. We're actually going to start with Dreamer this time. So, Dreamer, first question for you. We talked a couple weeks ago. There was a question a couple weeks ago about any updates for centralized exchanges. And we mentioned during the answer to that, one thing that a listing does require is, generally speaking, a large amount of Joule, which, we as the project, hold an amount of Joule, but not necessarily like some overwhelming amount of Joule. So the question is, are we looking at buying Joule? And if we are not, should that be seen as a red flag?
Yeah, I think there's two answers that I can give that are like related to this question. The first is the last year and a half of development and rate of development has been largely dictated by our deal we did with Metis and PvP and Coliseum, and we were able to look at the roadmap and identify things that would benefit their chain, that would benefit you, the players, that would move the needle, and then additional things as well, including classes and other systems like Divine Essence, and working on onboarding and user acquisition with like patrols and so on. In that deal, there's very specific usage of the proceeds, and that's between like dev costs, very light marketing or community interaction, and then like rewards for the PvP thing itself. Nothing in there was like, let's take your token and dump your token to pump ours, is how it could be perceived by those partners giving us money. Outside of that, prior to that, we were at a very, very low turndown. People asked about a runway a lot, and it shifts a lot because we look at what we have, and our team has been very open to sacrifice of hours that they could even clock, and most, if not all, put a lot more time into it than we're like getting paid. So I think when we look at like what is even there to buy Joule with, the portions that we're able to continue to fund the development, they don't come from a place that really is encouraging or allowing selling their token and buying ours. So that's one. The second is, the fees in the game are received, and over time, we try to find non-disruptive ways to, pay costs. There's not only cost of devs, there's a lot of ongoing operational costs as well. And when you ask, like, are you buying? Well, although we're not buying right now, and even on the legal side, we've been given counsel over time that we've given that answer before as well. Like, you should be very cautious, like buying and selling your token at different prices, and the market fluctuations that might occur around them could end up getting us in a little bit of trouble, even if the intent isn't malicious. So we've always been cautious, but I'm trying to answer this question kind of differently today. The other piece, if you're not buying, are you selling? Well, we actually stopped selling Joule a while ago. I don't know the exact date, but it's 6 months or more. So if you're wondering like red flag or conviction, we're still collecting Joule and fees. Our Joule amount is going up. We're not selling it. I interpret that as conviction. If we had, dry powder in order to do so, and we weren't worried about like legal issues, we could look at, doing a buyback and things like that. But it's just a very slippery slope when you have price involved, and everybody tells devs and those that are in the space, do not talk about price, do not do things that can manipulate price, do not systematically introduce things. So we're trying our best. So long answer to your question, but before it was like, buybacks are not something that we've been encouraged to do from our like legal representation in the past and over time. However, let's talk about it further. The money that does come in is purposed for very specific reasons. We try to stay within that. And then outside of that, we are holding Joule and we're stacking Joule. We're not selling it. It's a form of conviction in the token without outright, like, quote unquote, corporate buybacks.
Awesome. Thank you, sir. Gonna throw kind of a multi-part question in it, and parts of it tie into the previous question, so you've kind of answered some of it anyway. But essentially, asking for some insight into the team. So there's several parts of this. I'm gonna say before I hand it over to Dreamer, there's a few parts of this that we're not going to talk about as far as like individual pay rates, number of hours that people are approved for. Like that's their personal life and their personal business, and we're not going to get into that and broadcast everybody's personal stuff. But a couple parts that are just general information. How many devs do we have currently working for the project, full-time versus part-time, which I think you kind of answered that part anyway. And how many non-devs do we have, and then any plans on expanding the team, or what that kind of would look like or take.
Let's see. How many devs? I believe we have about 20 contributing currently total, and about 5 of them are like non-developers. In that developer bucket, I would include artists. So they're not like hardcore like coding developers, but it's in development of the game. So anything that's animation, game related, front end, traditional back end, blockchain specific, that's there. Nobody's really at full-time hours. Even in our ups and downs, I think that there might have been pushes for some to get near full-time, but we don't have a full-time team. We have a team that's very passionate about the space. And although this space is full of a bunch of wildness and negativity and anger with the things that go on, those that said that they like blockchain gaming, and they believe in the whole idea of owning your assets and tokenizing game assets, like we're doing it. Even people, popping in from Twitter and everything that I'm reading in the chat, you can say what you want, but hop in and see for yourself. It's okay. You can have your opinion and make it with quality efforts to educate and learn. And I think as people do that, they'll realize we have been building for 4 years. And it does require a team that even when you look at how many devs or how many hours and everything, it doesn't quantify the output, because the output is so much more special, meaningful, and large than like the tracked hours of paid input. So yeah, 20 devs, 15 traditional developers, 5 like I guess non-devs. That's like biz dev marketing community. Outside of that, what were the other questions, Bolan, that I didn't hit?
I think you really hit all of them, to be honest.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think you got everything. To the asker, if we did miss anything, let us know. We'll hit it too, but I'm pretty sure you got all of it. Awesome. Well, thank you, Dreamer. Appreciate all of the insight and background behind everything. We're gonna give you a break now and end Hubert's break. So, Hubert, hope you're ready to go. So this first question, why are used potions returned in PvE? Which I'm going to rephrase into, are used potions returned in PvE?
So generally, no. I mean, there is a power up that you can get that gives you a chance to recover 1 or 2 of them, depending on which power up you get or which level of the power up you get. But yeah, if you use a potion in combat, it does get burned in general. But there's just that one way to potentially save it. So yeah, that's how it works.
Awesome. Thank you, sir. And I lied. I'm going to give you another break real quick because I'm going to answer this next question. Ascension raffle number 2 soon. Yes. So Transcendence kickoff event number 2 did come to a conclusion. Transcendence kickoff event number 3 is currently running. Berber had a vacation right around the turnover time. So he got some very well-deserved time off. He is back. So he is compiling all of the data for the second event for us, as well as working on the tracker for the third event for all of you guys. He actually, right before the AMA, sent over a link to that data for the second one, but I have not even had a chance to take a look at it. So hang tight. But yeah, that one should be coming pretty quick. And then we are also working on getting that tracker live for the third event. As a reminder, if you don't remember or you haven't been paying attention, the third Transcendence event is live right now, which means that every hero and or pet transcended is getting you an entry into the applicable raffles. We are doing this one a little bit different, where the number of heroes and pets burned, as well as the quality of those heroes and pets, will determine the ultimate prize pool for this raffle and drawing. So hang tight, especially for that tracker. We want you guys to be able to follow it in real time, and we'll be getting that out to all of you as soon as possible. All right. Back over to you, Hubert. Any plans for Crystal Vale land that you can share? Will there be a raffle? If so, will it be for Seedual holders?
Yeah, that's kind of a tough question to answer at this point, as far as like how they would be rewarded. I'll say that there haven't been any course corrections or anything, with us still planning to like expand the Crystal Vale map at some point. And if we did that, that would include land. So that there's been no discussion about changing that direction, but it's just also not been our top priority. And so it really hasn't seen like any movement at all. So yeah, I guess that's kind of where that's at. And whether or not it's a Seedual holding raffle or something else, that it could be a mixture of different things. We have a lot more systems in place at this point than we do or did in the past. So I think we could reward people for various behaviors when we get to that point.
Nice. Thank you, sir. And I mean, I'll just say too, like, I think, there's a lot more activities that can potentially be rewarded than there were when we did our first land raffle. So, there's definitely a lot of avenues that can be taken for that side of things. Hubert, with the All-Star tournament coming up, have we considered something like a Mount Rushmore to immortalize those heroes that win our first All-Star tournament?
That is a very interesting idea. I'll say we haven't talked about anything like that, but I will bring back that idea to our game committee and see if there's anything that we want to do.
Nice. Thank you, sir. Any thoughts or plans for easy XP? Perhaps something like you burn a hero and a void shard to extract its accumulated XP into a consumable.
As far as like new hero burn mechanics, I don't really see that us doing something like that. With like consumable XP items, I know that's been something that has been kind of discussed in the community. There's a couple people in particular that I know are very pro that idea.
What?
But yeah, no, I'd say at least that suggested idea, no. As far as like some other ways to get XP, maybe, but nothing concrete to announce at this point.
Nice. Thank you, Sir Hubert. Real quick, just to answer a question from chat, any insights into 4th birthday event/plans? Not just yet. We are talking about that currently, though. Our 4th birthday is coming up here in just a few weeks. Man, time flies. And also simultaneously does not fly. But yeah, we are talking about that right now. So stay tuned for details on that, but nothing to share just yet. Or as Winston said in chat, you'll get nothing and you like it. That is an option too, but we'll find out. Hubert, any thoughts on boosting the shell reward per patrol? So currently, when you complete all 3 rounds of a patrol, or all 3 stages, you get 15 shells. Any thoughts on increasing that number potentially?
I mean, potentially. We'll see. We haven't. Again, this is another one we haven't really discussed, but As was kind of announced earlier in my updates, like we are still doing things to help patrols, like the gas refund that you can get now, soon when we release it. And we can consider other things to enhance it as well. We do also have some just expansions to it, kind of, that have been in the works for a while too, that will happen at some point as well. So yeah, I mean, it's possible that we could do, there are various things we could do with patrol, so we haven't forgotten about it.
Nice. Thank you. Real quick to circle back, because I liked how Code Green put it in chat. First we got cake, then we got hats, then we got cake hats. How we top that? Unknown. Where's second best ad? We need him to top the cake hats progression. I don't know what comes next in that series though. Hubert, I think we've mentioned a little bit of something about this before, but can we have a post-season use case for Revengers tokens?
Yeah. So we have had some discussions about like what we will do during the off season. When we built the tournament system, we did set it up to let us do some things like have a tournament where you have to bring a token of the type that it is. So like the Revengers are like a non-transferable type. There is also the Patroller's Treasure Hunt one that also has its own token. So like we could do something where it's like you could bring, maybe we say you need to bring 2 of those kind of tokens, and you could bring a Patroller Treasure Hunt and a Revenger, or you could bring 2 Revengers to enter, something like that. So something along those lines, I think, would be just to try to use up those tokens, would be something that we might do, and perhaps in the next season we could also do something as well where that's a semi-regular thing that maybe uses the tokens that we use in that season or from the previous season if people have them, kind of thing. So yeah, I think there are definitely things we can do there. We've kind of talked about it, but no concrete plans yet.
Nice. Thank you, Hubert. Gonna give you a quick break again, actually, and I'll kick this one off, although you may want to chime in anyway, but we'll see. Should all of our sponsored official tournaments be level 20? Would this not encourage leveling heroes, which requires resources, which could help stimulate the economy? So yes, leveling heroes can help stimulate the economy. You need runes, you need to spend a little bit of a token depending on which realm you're in. So yes, you need some resources for that, but so does just overall general participation in the ecosystem and in tournaments and PvP. So one of the goals of having different levels for tournaments has been to make them more accessible to a variety of players. And, the heroes used for lower level tournaments may not have used as many runes because they haven't leveled up as many times. But if their owners playing tournaments with those heroes, they're using potions, they're supporting another use case for Jewel through tournaments themselves, they're using equipment. So they're still actively participating and stimulating the economy outside of the meditation circle. So it is a balance. Yes, people leveling up heroes is a good thing and is good for the game and the economy, but so is playing the game and participating in different aspects of the game. So it's not necessarily one versus the other, but the more of each that you can have, the better. Hubert, anything you want to add to that, or anybody else for that matter, I guess?
Yeah, I guess just to just expand on your point about needing equipment, that does impact. If we had only level 20s, then you'd be seeing mostly just the highest level equipment in play. So by having these lower level tournaments, we do create a little bit more of a demand for those lower level pieces of equipment that are out there as well. So without that, I think it would be a little bit of a different landscape and probably not for the better.
And especially once durability kicks in as well.
Yep.
Nice. Thank you, Hubert. One last question for you. I do believe, at least for the time being, nobody believes that. Anyway, probably not a priority, but can there be some sort of statistic at the end of a battle, highest damage, amount of misses, whatever you can think of.
So first off, I really like that idea. That, it reminds me, I don't know if any of you guys have played like Beat Saber's online mode, but in that it does something like that where at the end it'll say, you had the best accuracy, or your swings were the largest, or various things. They had all these different things. I think even jazz hands was one of them, so you should be playing that, Winston. But yeah, I think for us to implement that, it wouldn't be an insignificant amount of work, and we do have a lot of priorities right now, so I just don't see us prioritizing it. But it is something that I would like to see it in the game eventually at some point.
Nice.
What game does the jazz hands?
Pretty sure it's in Beat Saber in the online mode.
Oh, okay. I've briefly played that a little bit, but I don't own the VR stuff.
Yeah, SBD has recently surpassed me in skill. He can't let his daughter win, so he had to keep up with her and get the better scores. So
that's awesome.
Well, I'll have to get a friend over here that has one, and then I'll just trounce both you guys really quick. Just show up, no skill, no ability, no talent, and just go crazy.
Speaking of going crazy, Winston, how were your matches today?
Thanks for saying going crazy instead of getting trounced. I think both of those would have fit pretty well. Couple tough matches in there. I don't know. The balance changes are coming. Like maybe the Pyroclast is not gonna. I mean, it's pretty strong. It's a pretty good thing, but maybe it's gonna get balanced a little bit here. But yeah, Kurt played really well. Good. He's got great heroes, and strategy was right on. I took a risk, hoping for kind of a double final blow situation that didn't work out. I got one of them. Didn't get the crit on it though. If I gotten the one with the crit, it would have been. That's kind of what I was going for. That was my strategy there, and it didn't work out. And his Pyroclast just rocked me. Aside from that, opening with 2 of the Frostlance is pretty sneaky as well. Doing those so early it really slows you down. But yeah, they were fun, good bouts. The second one, it just got away from me. I was hoping to bring in a couple of fighters, a couple melee dudes, and just didn't work out. Should have brought some archers, because I think that they're a little tougher at that level. So that's how it goes, though. Good games, Kurt. If you want to say something, you maybe jump up here and bullish us at the end, or also you could just write me a little message and I'll read it for you. So yeah, thanks for fighting me. I appreciate that, and thanks to everybody who voted and sponsored it. Fire it back over to you, Bolon.
Awesome. Thank you, Winston, and thank you, Kurt, as well. With that, we actually are looking at potentially wrapping up early here. So I will give you a couple minutes. If you have anything you want to ask, you want to drop in chat, feel free. We can take a couple of live questions. Otherwise, we will wrap up early for this week and be back next week, of course. So we'll give you just a couple minutes if anybody has something they want to drop in. But otherwise, while we do that, that's what I was trying to remember. There we go. While we wait for that, I'm going to play this trailer again because I think it's cool and I'm excited about it. All right. Well, looks like we do not have any live questions coming in, so we are going to launch into our wrap-up. I'll just say, as always, thank you everyone for tuning in, and everyone who will watch this recording later as well. Thank you to Winston, Hubert, and Dreamer for taking time out of their day to join us up here. Thank you again, Winston, for stepping in to host last week for me. Greatly appreciate it. And as always, thank you to everyone who did submit questions for us to answer today. Keep the questions coming so that we can keep having AMAs, because otherwise we just ramble about weird stuff. As always, you can submit your questions at talk.defykingdoms.com or in the AMA questions channel in Discord. Greatly appreciate all of you. Excited to be here as always, and looking forward to seeing you all next week. Let's go over to Dreamer. Dreamer, any final thoughts?
I just love that we're getting another class out. They're popping out rather quickly. Well, actually, this was in testing for a long time. It was in testing for a long time because, man, we wanted to make it really good. And I think that it introduces not only some updates in strategy and the overall meta, but it looks really pretty and it's fun. And pirates are a fun addition. I hope everybody can be playful when they're playing. Remember, this is a game. We're playing because it is fun. We're trying to innovate the gaming space and also bring true tokenized games and gamification of DeFi to this space that just seems to chase volatility and short-term games and lies and cheap tricks and all this other stuff. So I am so proud of this release. I'm proud of all the other releases that came before it. If you're somebody out there and they're like, I stopped playing at blah, blah, blah time, or I have this opinion at la, 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 hop in and check out the pirate. Maybe you'll like it. Maybe you'll come back in at a time that everything is cheaper than when you left. And maybe life is worth, having fun and joining a community that enjoys playing together and, not being such a downer. So with that, I am positive. I'm stoked. I'm grateful for this team, for the build and the community. And when this goes live, I'm excited to see everybody having fun and encouraging others to learn, get back in, to check out the pirate and see how it fits into all the other active heroes with their codices in combat.
Very nice, very nice. Hubert, any final thoughts?
Man, that what Dreamer just said was so good, and I'm too tired. Yeah, I know. I would really like to see everyone try out Pirate. I hope the tournament tomorrow is a success, and we see a lot of people, testing out the new meta. Like, it is going to shake things up quite a bit. I know when Wizard came out, it has really shifted things a lot, and we saw its effectiveness today with Kurt versus Winston there. And now we have Pirate, which has quite a few different tools in its kit to kind of disable a lot of things that have been used with the most the most popular Wizard strategies. So it's going to be interesting to see how that all plays out. I think there are still strategies that will work, and it's not going to just mean that people can't use Wizard, but it will mean that maybe the way that it has been used recently is going to need to be shifted. And now we're at 8 classes that are now in the combat engine, which is how many classes we began with when we first released the heroes in the first place. So they aren't all of those 8. There's still some that are not there, like Thief and Monk. But out of the 12 basic classes, we are 2/3 of the way there, and it's not. I think it's just going to be kind of a faster pace in general at this point. Looking forward to the next class, looking forward to the other changes as well. And we also have the All-Star tournament coming up too. So I hope everyone's getting geared up for that, and, take these initial weeks to get used to the new meta, because there's going to be quite a bit of shifting and getting used to it. So thank you all for all the time you play the game, and for all your support and everything. And yeah, I'll pass it back to you, Ballin.
Thank you, Hubert. Last but not least, we will go over to Winston, and also if he has any message from Kurt.
I do. I do have a little message from Kurt. I'm going to save that for the end. Just to, if I could just repeat the stuff that Dreamer and Hubert just said, I would just do that. That would be the easiest thing for me, but I can't do that. So just pretend that I said all those things. I'm really excited for the pirate. I think that it's gonna just absolutely blow things up. I think it's gonna change the way people are playing. Like I think Kurt's little wizard party is not going to be quite so fun for him against some crowd controlling pirates, because they can just like the daze and the stun, they have all these skills that really throw a wrench in some of the strategies that exist now. It gives you lots of opportunities to break up gameplay. So once you figure out what your opponent's doing, you can really close off their move set. And they're pretty fun to play. They got the gun, they got the Kraken, they got the big boat. I mean, what more could you ask for? They got the curvy sword. It's the big belt buckle, the huge belt buckle. Thank you. Wow. And that's for those reasons I'm bullish. And now I'm gonna throw down what Kurt said here. So Kurt said, "Wizards are the most fun class, hands down, and pirates will soon be my second favorite." Bullish.
Bullish.
Thank you, everybody. And we will see you next week.
DeFi Kingdoms, where you can summon heroes, trade with other players, quest, and fight challenging enemies in a fantasy world brought to life in pixel art animation. Command your legion, claim your legacy.